is Friday, January 11th, and I'm going to talk to you today about caregiver agreements. Caregiver agreements are things that we've been getting a lot of questions about, and thanks for coming in, Tiffany, and filming. I was in the middle of signing some books for Saving the Farm. The reason I'm signing the books for Saving the Farm is if you call in 704-259-7040 and you purchase the book, I will personally autograph a copy to you, and we will include our deed planning worksheet. The deed planning worksheet is where I've visually mapped out how I think about estate planning and elder law and how you can protect your hard-earned money and property. That'll give you some insight. This right here alone is worth more money than I can put a dollar amount on right now. And I use it with clients all the time. I spent tens of thousands of dollars developing this book and researching over 2.5 years. And that's why I'd like to have you have it in your hands so that you can know your options for estate planning and elder law. Also, Hayden Soloway was going to come in and talk about caregiver agreements this morning, but she wasn't, I hope you don't mind, Hayden, she wasn't feeling great today. So we let her off the hook, and we'll see you, hopefully we'll see you next week, Hayden. I can't wait for your return. Can't wait to do some more elder law reports with you. Today, I'm going to give some information on caregiver agreements, and I've already signed these books, so we're good to go. I already have the deed planning worksheet in there, so Tiffany, we can send those out. Okay?
Yes, we can.
And we've had a lot of calls for the book lately, and a lot of contacts for the book, so we're very, very happy to have that book in our arsenal, and we'd love to put it in yours, okay? A reference book that reads like a novel, as Hayden Soloway coined that phrase for Elder Law Report. This is an example of one of our caregiver agreements, okay? This is an example of a letter that goes out to the family for a caregiver agreement. So what are caregiver agreements, and why might they be relevant to your life and your family? Well, a caregiver agreement might be employed anytime you contract somebody to come in and give care, literally. I have tons of families all the time who are staying at home with a loved one. They're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They're doing it because of obligation to their loved one, and those things are great. I've had people say, nobody could pay me to take care of my loved one, of my mother, my dad, the grandchild, my grandmother, my grandfather. And I understand that. But under the Medicaid rules for long-term care, which can come in and pay for assisted living or nursing home care, and under the Veterans Aid and Attendance Pension Benefit rules, which can come in and help add extra income to pay for in-home assisted living or nursing home care. Under those rules, sometimes you have to have care costs going out to have that benefit coming in. And even though the family's providing maybe 24-hour care, the care costs aren't there, so you can't get approved for Veterans Aid and Attendance Pension Benefits, for instance, because you have to be able to spend down some of that income on care costs, and you're not showing it. So to be able to show that to VA, to show VA what the family's doing to care, VA nor Medicaid can tell you, and there's great in-home caregivers in North Carolina and in this region. However, they can't tell you that the person down the street is going to do a better job of taking care of your loved one than you. They can't say that. They can't make that determination. They can't tell you that you can't hire your son, daughter, cousin, brother, sister, grandson, or granddaughter to take care of you. And you can. So caregiver agreements are formal contracts that allow for a loved one or anyone else to take care of someone and get paid to do it. It is also under a Medicaid spin down to get under reserves to qualify for long-term care or assisted living care. It's also acceptable under those spin down rules. So it works under the Veterans Aid and Attendance Pension System, and it works under the Medicaid Special Assistance and long-term care space for assisted living and nursing home care systems, okay? So this is a cover letter we might send out on a caregiver agreement, and it tells you to keep a detailed log. You want to keep a detailed log, even if you're a family member caring for someone else, of the care you give. Now that might be where you say, sat with Father for 8 hours today, provided meals, went to the park, went grocery shopping, and you might want to put that down in your log. I would suggest keeping a log somewhere convenient to where you're sitting and working in that home with that person every day, so that you're going to see it, and you keep a daily detailed log. So if anyone ever questions what you've done, you're going to be able to go back and say, this is what we did that day, and this is why I was paid at an average rate, let's say, for caregivers in our area to do this work. Okay, so you're going to keep a detailed log of what you're doing. We would be glad, by the way, to prepare and give you a log workbook if you so choose. In fact, that's a great idea, and I'm going to start adding that to our caregiver agreements, is a log book that we provide along with the caregiver agreements. Man.
Great idea.
It's a great idea, isn't it? So we're going to start doing that. So if you do a caregiver with us, we're going to provide the log. And Tiffany, we could just put that in a nice binder. Mm-hmm. We could put caregiver log for the person that is receiving the care, and we can put those log sheets in there for them to receive. So we're going to start doing that. Every caregiver agreement we do from now on are going to be done that way. By the way, you just got some insight into how I come up with ideas and how I think. Really, providing next level legal services is what we're about. Making everything as easy as possible for you and the family is what we're about. So the more we can shoulder that burden, the more I can feel like that we're earning our fee, okay, for what we do, the better, and the happier you as a client and the family is going to be. So I would advise that and we talk about what's the average pay for a caregiver in this geographic area. It might be different for Charlotte versus Shelby versus Hendersonville versus Asheville. It's going to be different in the different geographic areas. But let's say the low is $10 and the high is $20. You can pay yourself in that range, but you need to justify it. My personal preference is to go somewhere in the middle. And just to justify it, so not as to not be too high or too low. I think that's perfectly acceptable. But we want to write that in the caregiver agreement. That's what we want to do. You can also itemize your expenses as a caregiver, by the way. And many times you can deduct mileage and other expenses, okay, under the caregiver agreement. So we state the intent and purpose of the agreement, that it's for health and medical care, that we talk about the cost of the medical care. We even state within it, within the agreement, okay, what the average cost in that geographic area for care is. And then we define, for instance, the one I'm looking at now defines a $15 per hour. The parties agree that the compensation to caregivers shall be computed pursuant to the following formula. $15 per hour multiplied by the hours per week of work equals the compensation. Okay? We define what the work week is and how many hours that can be. For this one, it's 25 hours. It can be 40. It depends on the level of care that's needed. We define what the hourly rate is. That's $15 per hour. And then we also state and we even put a term of the agreement in here. This one's for a 5-year period. And we also place what the average rate of pay in that geographic area is. Okay? Governing law is North Carolina. And we have that signed by the principal, the person that's receiving care, and we have that signed by the caregiver and both those signatures are notarized. So we want to make sure that we have a robust and complete contract so that you can show a government agency like Medicaid, Social Services, Department of Health and Human Services, as well as the Veterans Administration, depending on what benefit might be applied for, okay? Now, if you or your family could benefit from a family caregiver agreement that is VA and Medicaid compliant, we absolutely would be glad to help. And from this point forward, we're going to provide a logbook as well for you to keep your notes on your daily planning. If anyone out there has a caregiver agreement from us and you would like that logbook, we will provide that to you free of charge. So call our office if you're a current client. And everyone from this point forward will be provided a logbook along with the caregiver agreement contract. It's very affordable to have us draft a caregiver agreement contract, but it can be a very good way to access benefits and get under reserves and to justly pay for the care that's being given. So there's a number of advantages there for everybody involved. So that's what caregiver agreements are, and that's how we use them in a benefit setting, both under the Veterans Administration rules and under the Medicaid rules. And if you have any other questions, you can call our office at 704-259-7040. And man, it's been an amazing week. I was talking this morning, we had a morning meeting that's usually 30 minutes. We went an hour this morning talking about our great seminars that we give, those things. And we are so pumped and fired up about our opportunities and the opportunity to spread the message of how to protect your hard-earned money and property, how to maintain control of your assets for the rest of your life, and how to have options to pay for long-term care, which can many times be more expensive than the money you've made for your entire life. Many times what people have worked for their entire life gets spent down the last few years of their life. And I never thought that was fair. So we try to help seniors keep in control of those assets while still having those healthcare options, or those long-term care options and benefits, both on the veteran side and Medicaid side. And I'm going to sign some more books, okay? If you would like a copy of Saving the Farm, please call our office, 704-259-7040. You'll also receive the deed planning worksheet and a signed copy of our book, okay? In addition, we have 2 big events coming up, but they're capped at 30 people. For Charlotte, on February 21st at the Harris Conference Center, we have an event that we're capping at 30 people. For those who are interested in planning for that long-term care piece, who might have a loved one that is maybe going to long-term care, assisted living or nursing home care, or is currently in assisted living or nursing home care. 30 people at Harris Conference Center. We're going to have a nice spread, a great dinner, and we're going to talk for about an hour, hour and a half, and do a question and answer on how to plan for that situation. I'm going to give away a ton of advice, a ton of what I call Medicaid planning secrets that are just written right in the rules, and we're going to talk about those and how to protect your hard-earned money and property. So that's for Charlotte. Call our office. The Charlotte number, although you can call and say, no, I'm going to put out one number, 704-259-7040 to schedule that Charlotte seminar. It's going to be Uptown Charlotte at the Harris Conference Center, okay? Then on February 28th, we're also having a seminar for 30 people, and that is at the Cleveland Country Club, in Cleveland County, Shelby, call 704-259-7040. And Tiffany, who's with me today and holding the camera, say, hey, Tiffany.
Hi.
Tiffany, what are you going to do when they call in? Let me see the phone.
Call in for what?
What are you going to do when they call in for the February 28th seminar in Shelby, or the February 21st seminar in Charlotte?
I'm going to get you set up, and then I'm going to call and confirm and let you know what you're going to expect at the seminar. And then the day before, I'm going to call and remind you just to make sure that you remember our seminars.
Absolutely. Somebody listens. Somebody knows exactly what they're doing, okay? Tiffany does a great job in communications of taking care of us as a firm, taking care of me, taking care of Brenton, and taking care of you, okay? So she'll sign you up for that seminar, and we're going to have multiple staff members there to help you. I can't wait to put out that information. Me and Brenton will be there. Myself and Brenton, another attorney in our firm, is going to be there to put out that information. And then we're going to have the biggest senior expo coming up on Saturday, May 18th, from 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Lunch is going to be served. We're going to have entertainment. I'm thinking a comedian that's senior friendly. I'm thinking maybe some music and dancing. Trust me, because the theme is it's the time of your life. And all I'm thinking about is that dirty dancing scene where Patrick Swayze holds the woman up and walks across the room, right?
You gonna do it?
I'm gonna do it. Brent's gonna hold me up, okay?
There you go.
I'm gonna be like that. No, we're gonna have some fun that day. It's gonna be one of the biggest senior events in North Carolina this year, and we're hoping to have 300 to 500 seniors and their family members and other people that have services connected to senior care and senior lifestyles. We're going to have speakers and vendors there as well, quite a few. It's going to be a one-stop shop where you can get all the information you need about senior care and have all your questions answered. So stay tuned for that huge event that's going to become our annual Senior Expo. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Elder Law Report today. I can't wait to come to you next week where I hope to bring you some more great content regarding elder law and estate planning and helping you protect your hard-earned money and property. I'm out.